Thanks very much, and thanks very much to Rachel for that, and to you all for coming. I'm going to kick things off by just setting a bit of context for the discussions that we're going to be having over the next couple of days. So I'll say a little bit about the Scottish Government's digital ambitions, how we're gearing up to deliver those over the next few years, and where Community Broadband Scotland fits into the overall picture. Now, at the start of something like this, I would normally kick off with a kind of spiel about the benefits of next generation broadband and the transformational effect it will have and the way that we work, live and connect with each other in the future. But I think, to be honest, I can probably save that on this occasion. I think it's probably fair to say that most of you in this room are already converts to the cause, and if you're not, you're probably in the wrong meeting. So, in basic terms, where do we want to get to? Well, Scottish Government's aim is for Scotland to be a world-class digital nation by 2020. Now, a big part of that is obviously infrastructure. The majority of you, again, are here because your community currently lacks access to infrastructure that will deliver you a decent broadband connection. There's been substantial commercial rollout in recent years, but that's only gone so far, and it won't go any further without public intervention. So significant investment is obviously needed, and I'll talk in a bit more detail about our step change programme in a moment. So what we want by 2020 is infrastructure that will support any device, anytime, anywhere in Scotland. And that's obviously a really big challenge, but it's central to our vision. But it's not just about infrastructure, it's about ensuring that people have the confidence and skills to be able to go online, that high quality public services are delivered digitally, and that we're able to fully exploit the economic benefits of the digital revolution, resulting in business growth and jobs. So Scotland's digital future, our digital strategy, provides more detail on what the Scottish Government will do to help make this vision become a reality. It was originally published back in March 2011, and it commits us to actions across 4 connected work streams. There's digital connectivity, which is kind of the infrastructure bit, which is obviously about pushing fibre out as far as possible, but other factors there as well. So, for instance, work to create a Scottish Internet exchange point that will retain internet traffic in Scotland, result in a more user-friendly experience, reduce unnecessary connections and costs. In a CBS context, that might actually end up saving you money and communities in terms of backhaul connections. There's digital participation, which is, I guess, the skills bit, also about selling the benefits of being online. Digital economy, which is about ensuring that Scottish businesses exploit technology and use it to innovate and grow. And public services delivery, which is ensuring that we in government and across the public sector do our business online wherever possible, and that should help create new demand and develop skills. But it's also about, becoming more efficient and delivering easier and better services for the public, from giving people real-time information on traffic congestion, public transport, to completely revolutionising the way that health services are delivered. And that should give rise to this virtuous circle, we're calling it, where all of the elements kind of interact and reinforce each other. Demand keeps growing, innovation becomes more prominent, and that fuels further investment in infrastructure. So that's the kind of theory bit, but what are we actually doing to make this happen, and where does Community Broadband Scotland fit in the picture? So as I've said, infrastructure is obviously only part of the picture, but it is a vital part. If our vision for 2020 is to become a reality with this anytime, anywhere connectivity, then we'll need widespread fibre deployment, fibre serving the core, backhaul and access networks, and increasingly going straight to the home. And fibre also underpin the growth of wireless networks across the country to support the ever-growing number of tablets, smartphones, connected devices, sorts of things you just be told to switch off. That's obviously going to require a longer-term plan with the kind of right mechanisms, partnerships and commercial models in place, delivered in a sustainable way and in partnership with industry. And that's likely to mean kind of new financial models, new ways of using public money, move towards investment rather than subsidy, which has been the way it's been done so far. But the foundations of this world-class infrastructure are already being built in Scotland. The Scottish Government is investing around £240 million in our step change programme, which has been delivered through 2 projects, one in the Highlands and Islands that High are leading, the other led by Scottish Government, which covers the rest of Scotland. BT were announced as the successful bidder for the Highlands and Islands project in March, and we remain on track to award the contract with the provider by the end of June for the rest of Scotland. So that investment is focused on areas where the market won't go, and that's essential to bridge the digital divide and coverage that exists today between urban and rural areas. And together, the two projects will give us a far more comprehensive fibre backbone than we've ever had before in Scotland. Obviously, more detailed rollout plans will emerge in the coming months, but If you just look at the Highlands and Islands project, for example, I mean, the scale of it is really staggering. We're looking at kind of 19 new subsea fibre cables to hook up the islands, 400 kilometres in total, 800 kilometres of fibre on land, new resilient backhaul network right across the region, new points of presence that will deliver wholesale next generation broadband at regulated prices. It really is a bit of a game changer, and the impact of the rest of the Scotland project will be equally dramatic. It won't bring next generation access everywhere. Together the projects will deliver for about 85 to 90% of premises in Scotland, but the reach of the fibre that's deployed, it will make it easier and more economical to connect communities in that remaining 10 to 15%. And that's where Community Broadband Scotland comes in. It's been set up primarily for those communities that won't have next generation broadband delivered by step change to ensure they're not left behind. But it's also about contributing to our world-class agenda, testing new business models, new technologies, new approaches, and that other communities can then learn from and adopt, and in that way we'll hopefully see it going viral, see a snowball effect within communities. And the key thing about Community Broadband Scotland is it's not a top-down approach. It's not about imposing solutions on communities. It's about empowering and supporting communities themselves to develop their own solutions. And as we'll hear in the course of today, all 6 of the pioneer communities are following their own distinct path that reflect the challenges that they face in their own areas. So a vital part of Community Broadband Scotland is mapping your journey, and we'll obviously hear more about that in the rest of today and tomorrow. How you decided which technology was best for you, what business model you've used, how you've galvanised your community to sign up. So Community Broadband Scotland will share that information with emerging communities so that they have a wealth of information at their disposal, and they'll have your experience, your example to set them on their way and help develop world-class solutions for themselves. So CBS is in its infancy. There's lots of exciting possibilities. We already see it as a key part of the delivery landscape in Scotland, and who knows where it might go in future. It will certainly continue to share best practice that we capture from the 6 pioneers and other well-established community projects in Scotland, and there'll always be that element of providing support and advice on the ground. But there could be potential for CBS to add value in other ways, to help tackle the perennial backhaul challenge, for example, to look at ways of aggregating demands across the 10 to 15% communities I spoke about, and I guess to explore the role that the public sector might play in terms of opening up access to schools, other public buildings, and aligning with other major digital investments that the public sector is making, things like SWAN, the Scottish Wide Area Network, again to ensure that they support the digital strategy across the board and deliver for our rural communities, just to ensure that we get best value for the substantial investment we're making in digital infrastructure. So exciting times, and we see Community Broadband Scotland as playing a key role in supporting that virtuous circle that I referred to earlier. I mean, you'll no doubt see parallels in the work that you're already doing at community level, where you've all been wrestling with that basic connectivity challenge. You're selling the benefits of being online to people within your communities to strengthen demand. You're developing a business plan, a financial model that in turn will support continuous investment in infrastructure. I mean, it's one of these really frustrating facts, and it's kind of the communities that arguably need next generation broadband the most are the ones that are at the back of the queue when it comes to commercial rollout. Through step change, through the projects delivered with Community Broadband Scotland support, and through our world-class programme, which will be informed by both, that will change. We're clear that if Scotland is going to become a world-class digital nation, we need to close the digital divide and deliver world-class connectivity in our remote and rural communities, as well as ensuring that our cities are super connected to support growth right across the country. And it goes without saying that we rely on you, the enthusiasm and dedication to the cause that we've seen within all 6 of the pioneer communities, and that we'll hear about in the course of today and tomorrow is a real inspiration. And again, just want to take the opportunity to thank you all for giving up your time and the contribution that you're making.